Your inner health ecosystem is so important. It responds to everything that's around you, and it's interconnected in all ways. So everything matters. And this is something that is critical for all of us to look at. And for me, I always want a reference point. For me, that reference point is ecology and nature. And so if you think about your inner health ecosystem, similar to nature and an ecosystem, you can see how important everything is and why it all matters. So in an ecosystem, the soils are important because that influences the plants, and the plants influence the nutrients, and the nutrients and the water and the air all influence each other, which then goes into insects and bees and birds and animals, and then back into the soil. So it is so intertwined in so many ways, and one tweak in one aspect can really change the ecosystem in other aspects. It's beautiful. And this is also thought of from, let's say, a different reference point, like an orchestra. Imagine what it's like to be in this beautiful orchestra or listening to this amazing song that an orchestra is putting out. And everything matters, all the notes with all the contributing partners in that orchestra really goes into a harmony that is in balance. And when it's out of balance, you might be able to not notice it depending on how out of balance one area of the orchestra is, until it becomes really, really noticeable. So if you take those two reference points, whichever one speaks to you, maybe the orchestra does, maybe the ecology does, and you take that and you overlay that on your own inner health ecosystem, it starts to make so much sense. It makes sense that your inner health ecosystem is so critical to the body that you're in, right? So we always start with the body. I always start with the body because the body is the place that is tangible. We can feel it. We recognize when something is off, usually. Sometimes it takes a while. And we start there because this is what we are operating inside of. So what is your body doing right now? Are you tense? Are you paying attention? Do you have dry eyes? Maybe you tweaked your knee. Maybe you have an itch. What is your body telling you right now? And now let's think about that inner health ecosystem concept and go into what's happening with your mind. Are you half paying attention? Do you have racing thoughts? And take it from this very moment. And now think back to earlier in the morning. What happened and what were your interactions? So did you have an interaction with your child, with somebody on the road as you were driving to work? Did you have an interaction that made your heart race? Or maybe you were overthinking and overplaying a conversation you had with your boss, your employee, your coworker, and that created a bit of a lump in your throat. So the reason that we link the mind and what's going on with you mentally and also with the emotions, so what's going on emotionally, maybe you feel apathetic or stoic or neutral, or maybe you feel really excited. We link all of these because there is a chemical that is produced when your emotions occur. The chemical influences the physiology then influences your body. Are you tight? Are you tense? Right? So that inner health ecosystem is always present. And this is a concept, I see it as a reality, but this is a concept that most people get. It's a bit of a buzzword, right? Holistic healthcare, holistic living, holistic wellness. But there's so much more to that in actual practice. So if we take this from a concept to an actual question, you might have some difficulty. And why would you have difficulty on this, taking this from a concept to a practice? Well, there's 3 reasons. And I want you to challenge yourself to really think about this. The first reason is you're not present. Are you present, and how present are you most of the time? Is there background noise? Are you listening to your phone ding? Is somebody screaming outside because they're, I don't know, playing kids screaming and yelling? Or is there traffic noise? Are you actually present? And how present are you in the moment? So we think that we are present more often than we're not, but 9 times out of 10, we're on autopilot. And autopilot is an amazing thing our bodies do. We are these incredible organic machines that can just go, right? And so that's the first reason that we often aren't aware of what's going on holistically in this inner health ecosystem. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that our baseline of discomfort is creeping up and creeping up and creeping up. It's kind of like that cartoon or that meme of the frog in the boiling water. The baseline of discomfort is higher and higher and higher, and we forget what it feels like to feel good. Just like that frog doesn't realize it's being boiled to death because it just keeps incrementally increasing until it just can't take anymore, because our bodies can take a lot of stress. So that's the second reason. And the third reason is that we are all moving at lightning speed. Society is fast, technology is fast, and we can't compute everything that's going on. Our subconscious is taking in so much information all the time that our conscious mind can't keep up. So we need, when we're healing and when we're living holistically, we need to kind of link those two together and become more present, more aware, and take the time to recognize that there are a lot of inputs going on, and we need to give ourselves a break and rest, and recognize that these micro rests and these micro pauses are really important for us to really get a handle on what's happening holistically. So let's consider all three of these examples a little closer. And I want to challenge you to really think about what these three things are. So consider what's happening with your inner health ecosystem when you place yourself last on the list. What happens when you place yourself sixth or fifth or fourth or third? What's going on? Secondly, what happens when you settle for just okay? I'm just okay. Like, I'll make do. It's not a big deal. And then lastly, and really critically, what happens when you're living in excess food, overworking, overly busy socializing? You have book club and birthday parties and volunteering at wherever, the school, the church, the neighbor down the street is having a potluck, and you volunteer to bring the most challenging dish because everyone loves it, right? So what happens when you're in excess, over decorating, whatever the case may be? So if we take those three examples and find yourself in any of those, this idea of you not being on the to-do list, what happens to your inner health ecosystem? What happens when you literally put yourself fourth, fifth, last? Well, resentment builds, and anger and sadness and frustration, right? And as I mentioned earlier, this is linked to chemistry and to your physiology. So this impacts your kidneys and your liver and your adrenal glands. And if you suffer in silence or you scream all the time and nobody's listening, it also can affect the areas of your throat. So this is why it's so fascinating and critical when you're getting to the root of the issue to know, where are you putting yourself and for how long? How long have you not really taken the time for you. Secondly, when we think about settling for okay, settling for okay seems benign, right? It seems like, yeah, I'm just not difficult. I don't really care. I go with the flow until I decide that I really have an opinion about something. So it's okay. I don't really need anything more, right? I'm surviving. I'm doing the best. Like, no big deal. I'm easy. I'm easy breezy. Well, when you keep going there, you lose joy. And joy is what fuels us through energy and vitality and this this idea of flexibility. So in that regard, some of the things that can happen is you become quite brittle and maybe a little bit bitter, but you also lose that positive mindset. And that positive mindset is critical when you are making decisions. It allows for the decision-making process to be easier because all the hormones that are coursing through your body makes those decisions easier. And you are better able to collaborate with others when you're in a positive mindset. So this is one of those moments where you think, oh, settling for okay is not that big a deal. Think again. And then lastly, when you're living in excess, literally and figuratively. So excess stuff, right? Excess food, excess thoughts. All of this is becoming burdensome. And it's kind of the opposite of the first issue of not putting yourself first or even on the top of the list. It creates distance and not in a good way. So we have these connection points that we all need to make. But if we start to live in excess, then the boundaries that we put in place actually keep us from connecting. So maybe it's like the double head coin, right? When you're not putting yourself first, you have no boundaries, right? And if you're living in excess, your boundaries can be too rigid. So that can create isolation, which then goes into depression, which then has all kinds of physical impacts to your system. So I want to go back to the excess piece because this is where society has really fixated on some issues. And there's some tweaks we need to make when we're in our holistic inner health ecosystem, because excess from a societal point of view has been used to exclude people. So it's been used and linked to waste, irresponsibility, and luxury. This excessive lifestyle. But I am here to scream from the rooftops that luxury is not excess. Luxury is not wasteful. Luxury is not irresponsible. And this is what makes me completely different than any of the herbalists that I know. And that is that luxury is something that is critical to holistic living and healing. And the holistic community has kind of turned their back on luxury because it is difficult to join the two together. But it is the secret to holistic living and healing. It is the secret to changing your health from a place of dis-ease to harmony, just like in the orchestra, just like in the ecosystem reference. One little tweak and everything can change. The first step to making sure that you embody luxury in your life is to really figure out what luxury is for you and then challenge it, because this is what changes everything. This is how my clients have so much success, is because this tweak alone changes your personal life, your professional life, and your health, physical, mental, and emotional. And this piece is that you have to understand what luxury means for you. The three things you have to ask yourself. What are your emotions and how does your body feel when you're in luxury? And the trick and the secret here is to go into your five senses. So luxury, true luxury, the stuff that is beautiful and amazing and keeps your inner health ecosystem in balance, shortcuts you through your five senses. So what does it smell like to be around your favorite essential oil or a rose or a perfume if you can tolerate that? What does it do to your body when you're around that? Maybe you get giddy, maybe it feels great. What does it taste like? And what does your body signal to you or whisper to you when you eat something decadent, like a piece of chocolate and you let it melt in your mouth? What does your body and your emotions do when you're looking at something beautiful? What happens when you listen to some great music? And what happens when you feel something like fresh sheets or you get into the perfect temperature bath? That's the first question. The second question is, what's your first reaction when you want something? This is critical, the first reaction. And let's take a material thing, a new bike, a pair of shoes, a computer, a purse, a piece of jewelry. What's your first reaction? Oh, I would really love to have a new house. Does it go to excitement? Does it go to, no, not really. Does it go to a place of, yeah, that would be so fun? And this could be a millisecond because our brains are tricky. Our family of origin and where we grew up and all of that might immediately come in and be like, you don't need that. Settle for okay. There's somebody across the other side of the world that's not doing well, and there's somebody that's always worse than you. But the trick, the secret is, what's your first reaction? Physically, emotionally, mentally. What's your first reaction? That's the second question. And lastly, how can you customize this moment for you to be more luxurious? So that could be as simple as, I gotta go cut the tag off the back of my shirt, right? I need to have something different in this bathroom while I'm taking a bath, a candle, a soft music. I'm not taking a bath because that doesn't feel luxurious to me. Or as I'm drinking this water, I need to give myself some space, and that space requires me to breathe a bit or to go to another room and have this beautiful glass of water by myself. This is one of those moments where every day a tweak. How can I make this luxurious for me? Every moment. Have you ever seen those people that are in the center of chaos, but they truly feel and look confident and calm? They are tapping in to their luxury, which is allowing their inner health ecosystem to be on point and balanced and calm, regulated. So when you take luxury and recognize it for what it is, it's not a nice to have, it's a necessity. And it's part of your inner health ecosystem, 100%. And this is what I'm about. This is what makes me so different and so unique. And this is why I feel so passionate about being a clinical herbalist and using luxury with holistic living and healing. And so if you agree with this, please put everything that you do that makes you feel luxurious and that helps you in your inner health ecosystem. This might be a new term for you, but basically put in the comments what you do to find your luxury in the days and in the moments that are really important. And if this is new to you and you're not sure how this works, try it. Just write in the comments what you think your luxury is and how that impacts your health emotionally, mentally, physically. And then I've been at this for quite a while. After seeing and working with hundreds of clients, I have heard why luxury does not fit. So why can't you put luxury into your life? What is the thing that's challenging you to do this? You are welcome to put that in the comments too. Share anything that is feeling a bit off or feeling fantastic when it comes to this topic and what's happening in your life when you add your customized luxury. If you'd like to go even deeper into this topic, put a yes in the comments and let me know that you're interested in this topic, and I will make sure you get the information when I create my series on how luxury and your inner health ecosystem can change your life, specifically for you, giving you practical tips and examples of what you can do to incorporate it in your life. So make sure that you share what you do to incorporate luxury in your life, and a yes if you're interested in diving even deeper into that. So until our next holistic rendezvous, stay in luxury and holistic living.